to round 3 of the Parenting Roundabout podcast for the week of July 5th. I'm Nicole Erdix, and I'm here with Terry Morrow.
Hello.
And Catherine Haleko.
Hello.
We're moms of teens and young adults, and when it comes to parenting, we've been there, done that, bought the t-shirt. But we're still waiting for that day when we'll reach the finish line and have no further need to lay down in a dark room with a wet rag over our eyes worrying about something or other. Wednesday is complaint day here on the Parenting Roundabout, and today we are complaining about how kids can disrupt or be allowed to disrupt adult conversations. Be allowed, that sounds very authoritarian, but the disruption is mostly because of what at least I perceive to be from the behavior of the adults. So here's an example, and this is why it came up. Recently, I was giving a presentation online, and there was a group of us, and one young, enthusiastic mother, her toddler climbed onto her lap during the middle of the presentation, which is great, like whatever, right? I mean, we're all working from home, we get it. And we're mothers, we understand. But however, the mom, the mics were on, so everybody was able to communicate and whatnot. So halfway through this presentation, the mom starts talking to the toddler, and the toddler starts talking, and then the mom starts engaging the toddler with what I was saying. So she starts to, oh, this is so-and-so, and he's so curious about this and that, and what do you think? And it was really, I just felt like it was very inappropriate. But am I wrong for that? Should we be a little bit more gracious when we have children around and they are a part of our lives? And I mean,
this is like a professional setting, right? I feel like she should have muted herself as soon as her kid was on her lap.
Yeah, is there any possibility she didn't know that her mic was on?
No, she knew.
That sounds like something I would do.
She knew.
And then later on find out that everybody heard me and be mortified. No.
See, and then I have a friend who has a child who's much older, and we'll have phone conversations, and in the middle of those phone conversations, her daughter will pipe up in the background, and then all of a sudden she becomes part of the conversation, and the mom directs her attention to the daughter, and then they're having a whole separate conversation. And it's like, hello. Can you at least, I feel like, I'm here with my time and energy and effort. I don't know. Is that, do you know where I'm going with this? I don't want to say too much.
I understand and I validate your frustration, but I feel like I have done this a whole bunch myself. Possibly even times when we were starting to podcast and one of my children would walk in. I would welcome them into the conversation amongst us. So when they were little, I was just pretty much desperate to A, have other people acknowledge their adorable presence, and B, get them to communicate in any way at all. That I probably did that a lot. So my gripe is always when people talk to me and pretend like they're not there. Oh, why does she do that? That's so interesting. Or, what's his diagnosis? Or it's like the child is right here.
But I feel like
on something important to them, or shut up. But so that's my gripe. But I feel like I have probably been inconsiderate in the way that you are describing. And now we'll have to reevaluate.
And in no way, I did not have you in mind when I brought this up. Trust me. And I don't feel
Nicole, sure.
I feel like the situations that I've been in that I'm referring to are far more disruptive than anything, because we've all had to speak to our children off camera or, to the side or whatnot, right? Like our kids there have been certain times, but these are really just, I don't know how to describe it, but they're very prolonged, purposeful conversations that are happening.
by a parent who feels their child is so brilliant and adorable that who would not want to talk to them and include them in the conversation? That sort of attitude.
It's kind of like,
look at what I made.
Yeah, or just that
Speak for the people.
This conversation I'm having with my child right now about their dinner is far more important than, and I get that children are a priority. I'm a mom. I get that. Am I saying too much?
You could mute.
I don't know. Catherine, what's your stance on this?
Yeah, I mean, it's just sort of, as Terry said, it's inconsiderate. And I understand that, especially with everyone having to work at home and all that, we can give each other some grace. But at the same time, when there's a simple solution, which is muting, muting your microphone, why not do that?
Yes.
So,
yeah.
I mean, my gripe is when somebody, if you're present with your child and someone is speaking to the child in a passive aggressive way that they're really trying to say something to the parent, like, oh my goodness, your hair is so long, or like, look at your big scrape on your hand. How did that happen? Or something. These are not great examples, but what I mean.
Yeah. Yes,
like
we know. Yeah,
the tone of voice and these not subtle message that comes with it.
Oh, so how did you get that job?
Right.
It's like, oh my gosh.
Oh, you're not taking, calculus? Oh, interesting. Okay.
Oh, dear.
Yes. Yeah. I had a lot of those.
I ducked all that stuff because nobody would talk to my kids at all. So,
oh,
see pluses and minuses, right?
But it's similar to what you said, Terry, about talking about your kids as if they weren't there.
Yes.
It's the
talking to the wrong person, basically.
Yes,
if you have a message for the mom, talk to the mom. If you have a message for the child, talk to the child.
There you go.
And if you have something that you feel would be inappropriate to say to the child, it's probably appropriate to say in front of the child. Their hearing is fine.
Right.
Stop it.
Yeah, it's just something that over the years, and I mean, these are not recent experiences, so, but just things that have come up over the years where it's like, wait a minute, like, I don't know, it's definitely something that I notice, but then, we're all moms and we're all,
this is why I like to, if I'm on the phone with a friend or my sister or something, I like to be out of the house.
Right.
Where no one can hear me or interrupt me.
Yes.
This is why I enjoy texts and emails. And online chat so much. I would much rather type than talk.
Yeah.
Because it's like you can stop and talk to your kid and then go back to typing and nobody knows.
Yeah.
Unless it's somebody who's like, it took you 2 minutes to reply. What's wrong?
Right. What happened? What's going on?
Are you ignoring me?
And I think too,
in general, you can gloss over it.
I mean, recently there was an article, I don't know where I saw it, but a mom brought her child to a job interview. Did you see that?
Mm-hmm.
So,
and the kid was dressed up in a suit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I saw this video.
So I understand. Maybe just as moms, we've been trained to, do what it takes to keep our children out of out of that part of our lives, right? Like,
there's also the meme of the professor who picks up the kid who's crying.
Right.
I love that, even though if I were another student in that class, I'm not sure how much I would, but in general.
But to me,
the idea of it is very cool.
It starts to get into that, inspiration porn thing.
It certainly does.
It is wonderful that this individual person does this, but this is a societal problem that this person should not have to solve in this way.
It's also possibly problematic to have somebody manhandling your child who you don't really know that well outside of the classroom, but okay.
Right?
But yes.
But then,
it's just like, oh, isn't it wonderful that everyone donated to this person's GoFundMe? Well, yes, but they should have health insurance that covers that so that they don't have to have a GoFundMe,
Right.
We're I'm drifting us far from our original topic.
I think we're revisiting Monday's topic a little bit here.
Yes, exactly.
But
I don't know. I don't know. Yes, there's parenting style. Yes, there's individual, needs of the children. And then there's just times when it's just plain old inappropriate. And
depends on the child, too. I mean, like, our children are wonderful, and people would be happy to have them included in the conversation. It's all you other people.
Yes. Anyway.
Well, and certainly depends on the situation.
Totally.
Yes.
Well, and I think
professional type setting.
How crabby the person you're talking to is and whether they will criticize
whether
you
they'll
on their
forgive
podcast.
you or not.
Well, see, and this is the other thing, too. Like, one of those examples that I told you about, I mean, that's been on repeat for as long as I've known that person, right? Like, it's a continuous behavior that I observe. And then the other one was in a more professional setting when it was not just me that was, everybody had to pause and, so it's kind of like.
Was there anybody in a position of authority who could say, please mute?
No. Me.
You?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, of course, I'm like, all trying to be professional, but at the same time, like recognize
right.
that
It makes you look like the mean
oh, yeah, I wasn't going to be
person
like
who doesn't understand children.
Exactly.
If you're telling them to mute.
How many people were in this audience? Probably every other person in that audience would be very happy with you if you told them to mute. And only that one person would be unhappy.
Exactly. I mean, it was a small group, but, I think other people are also thinking, okay, well, I'm paying for this. And,
yes,
like I've got my time. My time is precious too, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So, I don't know. It was just a really kind of interesting. It was an interesting situation. I had not ever had that happen in a professional situation before.
Are you in a software situation where you can send that person a DM?
Well,
I know in Zoom you can.
Oh, for sure. But I think it's just when you're
talking, don't want to be.
Yeah, when you're in the midst of it, you don't really stop to think, how am I going to handle this? It's more just like, okay, yeah, that's great. Hi. Okay, moving on.
You need to have a personal assistant with you with their camera off.
Right.
Ready to
jump in.
Squash unruly audience members as needed.
So it was just
Something else to do with our $1 million.
Yes.
There we go. Train Zoom police.
Zoom police. Zoom police for hire.
Yes. Well, on that note, we will wrap up our complaining for today on round 3. But tune in tomorrow when we'll obsess about playground safety, and then on Friday to see what we've come up with for our roundup picks this week. Find all our episodes at parentingroundabout.com and talk back in the comments there, on our Facebook page, or on Twitter, where you'll find us at Roundabout Chat.